I want to focus on the last 4 verses of this reading. They're profound and important to us. Matthew tells us in chapter 3 of his Gospel, after Jesus' baptism by John, that the Spirit of God comes down like a dove, saying, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased," giving us an acknowledgement of Jesus' relationship with God. Through the next 8 chapters, when Matthew lays out for us the teachings of Jesus and the sending out for mission of the disciples, as well as some of the healing miracles, this relationship is implicit in all that Jesus does and says. Chapter 11 feels different. It has a different tone. Jesus sounds reflective. He praises John the Baptist, criticises some places that are unrepentant, wonders about this generation being like children arguing in the marketplace. And then he speaks the word we hear in this reading. He again claims the role of Son of God, followed immediately with an invitation to everyone, because who doesn't feel weary and carrying a heavy burden? If we learn from Jesus, take on his yoke, we will find rest for our souls. The image of a yoke would be familiar to those people listening to Jesus. It's a shaped wooden bar used to link oxen together so that they can more effectively pull heavy loads. Jesus was a carpenter. He would know all about the need to make a yoke that fitted the animal, so that it wasn't painful or caused broken skin, and allowed the oxen to make the most of its strength. Yoke was also commonly used as a metaphor for the religious law, which had become burdensome, especially for the poor. Their lives felt restricted by it, and they were sometimes expected to give goods and money that pushed them further into poverty. Jesus seems to be telling his followers, and that includes us, that life is not without work and effort, but that Jesus' discipline is ultimately about love. And whilst that's very difficult to achieve in human terms, the grace of God is sufficient and available for us all. What strikes me particularly about these few verses is that a yoke is not for one animal, but 2 or more. Whatever we do as an individual Christian, we need to give consideration to each other within our community, to be prepared to travel together, listen to, and work alongside each other. Not being able to meet face to face during the last 3 months has led me to reflect on what's really important to me in my faith journey, and I'm sure many of you will have done the same. Perhaps as restrictions begin to lift, we need to continue to reflect on what is essential to our faith and church community, and what might be a burden that we can lay down. Jesus asks the people he's speaking to in Matthew's Gospel to learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. I pray that all of us together will be able to learn from Jesus as we follow his way of love. Let's pray together. Lord Jesus, you call us to be your church, not just some of us, but all of us, from different traditions, with varying patterns of worship and contrasting doctrines, but sharing the same faith, serving the same Lord, worshipping the same God. We cannot pretend that there is nothing that divides us, but we know there is much more that unites us. We know that you want us all to witness to your love by the love we have for one another. Help us to hear your word, respond to your Spirit, become the people you would have us be, and reflect